Hello guys, today I'm gonna explain you the positionings and the float property in CSS. So let's start. We're gonna start with the static position. It follows the normal document flow and it's default. So let's go to the example. Here is a normal HTML document. I have the style tag to do all the styles, and so here we have the three divs, and every one of them has a color, a background color, and as we can see here is the position static, and here is how it looks. So you might think that it's normal, and I will say that yes, it's normal because static is the default position assigned by the browser, so that's not going to change anything. Let's go to the relative position. The relative position position the elements relatively to its initial position. What is its initial position? Okay, so just let me draw here. I'm gonna put a square and I'm gonna draw exactly here. So if I go to the next, let's check the example of relative. Here is a normal HTML document. It has all the styles, and we have the three divs right there. So in the red div we have the position relative. What means that? This means that it will be 25 pixels far from the top and 25 pixels far from the left. That means that if this square, this yellow square was the initial position, now this will be the relative position because it's going 25 pixels to the right and 25 pixels to the bottom. It's like adding a margin here. So we have a margin here and it's adding it up, and the other elements will not notice that. The other elements will just take in count that it has the normal position, but actually it has the relative position. So just let me delete this. Okay, so let's go to the next. The next is absolute position the element by its parent element and other elements ignore it. Let's see the example. Here we have almost the same document, but instead of relative we do absolute and 50 pixels and 50 pixels. So absolute, in absolute position other elements ignore it. So what means ignore it? That they will notice that will take that is empty space, so it will fill it. It will take in count that this div doesn't exist, but it actually exists, and it's attached to the parent element. In this case is the HTML or the body tag. But that's how works the absolute position. Once you do absolute, other elements ignore the absolute position element. Let's go to the fit set. In the fit set we have this here, that only change position fit set, but in this case I assign it that it needs to be 0 pixels from the right and 0 pixels from the top. That means that I want it just right here, right? I just added a little bit of size to be able to scroll, but I need a specific to be 0 pixel from the right and 0 pixel from the top. Let me draw some arrows so you can view that. 0 pixels and 0 pixels. Oh, let me change the color to black. Okay, some arrows, 0 pixel from the right and 0 pixel from the top. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna delete this to the pointer. Okay, that's how fixed position works. You need to specify how far from everything it needs to be. Then go to the sticky position. The sticky position becomes sticky once the user passes the final limit. What is the limit in this example? We have this and we set the limit to be top 0. So it could be let me just think about it. Top 25 pixels, top 50 pixels, top 50 pixels. But once it becomes negative, for example 25 pixels, it activates the sticky position. What means that? So let me just show it. Here is the example I got. So here we have these two elements and this other element, but once it passes the limit of 0 from top, it just becomes sticky and it slides, right? So that's what we got. So let me just experiment a little bit and what happens if I put minus 20 pixels. So let's do that, and it works because once it becomes less than this, it becomes sticky. So that's how it works. We can put any limit that we want. So let's go to the float. The float is not a position, the float is just a property. We can do float left and float right, and it allows elements to be paired. I forgot something. In the sticky position, other elements can notice that these elements exist, but once it becomes sticky, it stops being noticed. So that's an important thing to take in account. In the float property, we can do float left and float right. It allows elements to be paired with other inline elements. And we got this example where I have the 3 divs and I have a big paragraph. So I assign a font size to the paragraph. I do float left to all of the divs, and this is how it looks. It becomes inline and can be paired with other elements, as it might be a paragraph. So it's a pretty useful thing to know. And that's all, guys. Thank you for the attention and see you the next time.